this is a perfect opportunity. And I like to split things up a little bit, so it's just me monologuing out here. So I asked Jim to come on. This is Jim Wilson for David and Patrick. He's a fairly new gentleman to our team. He's out of Montgomery, Alabama. He was a preacher for many years. He's got some network marketing experience, so we're really fired up to have him on. And Jim, I asked Jim tonight to just share a little bit of his background and his testimony. He got his product this week, so I'm just so excited for him to share.
Okay, you ready?
I'm ready.
All right. Okay. Like I said, I'm from Montgomery, Alabama. I pastored for 40 years. Was also a hospice chaplain for 10 years at the same time that I was pastoring, until I ruptured a disc in my low back, and it paralyzed me on the right side of my body, and so they had to do emergency surgery. And thankfully, I don't have any paralysis, but they diagnosed me with having stenosis, where your nerves, the canal where your nerves go through, starts to close up, and which leads to degenerative disc disease. And so I ended up having 4 neck surgeries, the low back surgery, and I have an appointment with a neurosurgeon on the 27th of this month to talk about surgery. But then I ran into, and this, the only way I can explain this is the way I explained it to Guy. This was a God thing. I'm not all that proficient with the internet, and Guy's picture popped up, and I clicked on it, and I started watching everything that he had put out. And I joined the company and on the 6th and received my product on the 10th. And before I started using the Swish, days consisted of just trying to manage my pain. I've had a pain management doctor for over 20 years. They've tried every kind of pain medication, from methadone, Oxycontin, to morphine, and I was allergic to all that. And so they finally decided to put me on hydrocodone 10, and I've been on hydrocodone 10 for 20 years. Oh, so you can imagine what that does to your liver. Mm-hmm. And it still didn't, it would just kind of take the edge off my pain. But then on the 10th of this month, I was able to try this product. And the first time I took that little cap and filled it up and swished it around in my mouth for a minute, and about 15 minutes, I noticed an ease in my pain. And since then, I've been keeping a journal. And when you have the stenosis like I have, it affects all parts of your body. And I had developed trigger finger in my left hand. And at nighttime when I would go to bed, with everything else I got going on, that hurt me more than anything. I could not close my hand at all. And I started taking the 10th. On the 12th, I could close my hand. I still had some pain in my index finger, but I could close my hand. But since since the 14th, I haven't had to use a cane. Matter of fact, I went today, and my wife went with me. We drove about an hour to deliver a Swish product and a release spray to someone that we know real well. And then we went to the grocery store, and she asked me, she said, when I got out of the car, how you doing? How you doing? I said, I'm doing okay, but you sit for an hour driving, you're still a little cramped up. But I have not used my cane, like I said, since the 14th, and I've cut my pain meds in half. And that's only not quite a week. Tomorrow will be a week that I've been on the Swish. And what I do is I take the Swish in the morning. First thing I do when I get up is I take the Swish, because it was at the point where when I got out of bed, I could hardly walk. My sciatic pain running down both my legs was just so painful. I stumbled more than I walked. And now I get up, I take the Swish, and I sit down, and I feel that release. I don't know how to really describe it, but I will tell you this: I'm finally getting my life back.
And I'm happy to hear that.
appreciate Guy and everything, all the information that he's gotten to me, the fact that he's there when I call him, and I'm just looking forward to how many other lives can be touched by this product.
Yes.
It's just amazing. I was shocked that it worked so fast. I wasn't expecting anything at first. I figured, okay, if I can, people will say, give it 60 days, give it 90 days, which is a good idea. Yeah. And so I was just shocked when it did what it did for me. And
now, Jim, you had shared with me that you could relate to Brad and Marcia Hager's story with their son, Devin, because you had tried other CBD products. Is that right?
I had tried, I cannot tell you how many CBD products I've tried. My son is a manager, believe it or not, at a vape shop, which is kind of crazy, me being a pastor. Anyway, and so he even tried, I think I tried everything that they have. And then he gave me one of these little things with like a cigarette thing, and he said, Dad, you got to try to smoke this. And I tried smoking it, about raked my lungs out. I said, I can't. And then I didn't get any effect from it. Then he brought me this thing that looked like a cigar. And I said, you got to be kidding me. He said, no, I just want to try it. See, we got to get you out of this pain. When I heard Brad about all the products that he had tried and everything that he had tried to do for Devin, and he had come to the same conclusion that I came to. And I told Micah, I said, Micah, CBD doesn't work. I mean, it hasn't worked for me. If it was going to work for anybody, it ought to work for me. And he would just kind of scratch his head, and he said, yeah, you're right, Dad. It should work for you. And so when I heard his story and the fact that I don't think his wife had to coerce him to go to the meeting with the scientist, but I think he said that I'll give him an hour. And then 2.5 hours later, I don't know. This is the thing is, this is a life-changing product. When my pain management doctor told me that, and my neurosurgeon told me that I had to leave hospice after 10 years, it broke my heart. I mean, that was an integral part of ministry for me, and being able to help those that couldn't help themselves and to minister to those families. And I mean, it just crushed me. But then 4 months ago, they said, Brother Jim, you've got to give up your pastorate. You can't pastor anymore. It's just too taxing on your body. And you equate that with, okay, that's 10 years with 40 years, and it's like, wow. But I look and I think, okay, well, Lord, you got something else planned for me down the road. I don't know what it is, but I just look at what this has done for me, and I'm excited about what it can do for others. And
wow, Jim, I am so excited for you, and maybe this is going to allow you to get back into pastoring again. Who knows? We can pray for the most part. We're just happy that you're feeling relief from all that pain from all those years.
Well, you know what, Guy? The people that I've talked to, and I've been on the phone quite a bit, first thing they say is they go, Jim, what's going on? And I said, what are you talking about? Go, you sound different. I said, what do you mean I sound different? They said, you sound like you feel good. I said, I do feel good. And that's why I'm calling you.
I love it. I love it.
Because everyone who knows me knows about the struggles, and they've seen me try to get around. And now my left knee hasn't given out since I started taking the product, believe it or not. And I just, like I said, I'm getting my life back. Awesome. look forward to sharing this with as many people as I can.
Oh, there's thousands of people out there that need to hear your story there,
That's right.
Jim. And thank you so much for sharing